Hey, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video we're going to talk about credit card cash advances, how they work, and why you shouldn't do one if at all possible. But before we do that, I would ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So I was on a discussion board today, and I think, I don't know, it might have been Reddit or another board talking about credit cards, and someone asked if a cash advance is the same as a purchase when you do it on your credit card. Is it just treated the same and it gets put on your balance, and if you pay it off at the end of the month, are you good? Is it all good, just the same as any other purchase you might make? And the answer is no. A credit card cash advance is not the same as a purchase. It is treated very differently. And so I'm going to walk you through what it is, how it works, and why it is something that you should not want to do if at all possible. So it is true that you can get money from your credit card. Your whatever credit card you have is going to have some system set up that allows you to take money from ATMs. You will have to set up a personal identification number or PIN, and then you will have a network of ATMs that you can use to take money out with your credit card. Now your cash advance limit will be different than the purchase limit on your credit card. Using one of my own credit cards as an example, I just talked about the Uber Visa that I got. Got a purchase credit line of $11,000 on this card, but the cash advance line is only $4,400. So I cannot use that complete purchase line if I want cash. Although if I wanted to get a quick $4,400, I could do that, which is quite a bit of money right there, right? So this all sounds good, right? You can get cash out of your credit card whenever you want to. If you could just pay it off by the end of the month, well, then it should just be okay. What's the difference, really? Why does it matter if you are paying, if you're taking money out, what's the difference between buying something? There really shouldn't be a difference, right? Well, maybe there shouldn't be a difference, but you would be wrong in thinking so, because they are treated very differently. When you take a credit card cash advance, three things happen, and all three of them are bad. Number one, you are going to get a fee up front. So just for taking the cash advance, you are going to be charged a fee. Number two, you are going to get charged interest immediately. So there's no grace period. You don't get your 25, 30 days or whatever from the time that you make that cash advance before you have to start paying interest on it. You will start paying interest on it immediately. So obviously that's very different from a purchase. And then third, you are going to be paying at a interest rate that is usually quite a bit above what your regular purchase interest rate is. So using again this Uber Visa as an example, if I were to take a cash advance from it, it would cost me 3% of the amount of the cash advance, or $10, whichever is greater, which means I would pay at least $10 in order to take a cash advance, regardless of the amount. If I took out maybe over $350 or however the math works, that could go even higher. But if you think about it, if you took out less than that amount, you might even be paying more than 3%. If I took out $200 and they charged me $10, that's a 5% fee right off the bat. So that is something that you need to know. Now the regular purchase interest rate on this card is a 16.74%, but if I took out a cash advance, they would charge me interest immediately at 26.74%, which, doing the quick math, you can see is 10 percentage points higher. Now, it should be pretty obvious why you don't want to take a cash advance. Those are all bad things. You're going to be charged a lot of money. You're going to be charged it right off the bat. You're going to pay a big fee, right? Now, I have to make a confession here, so it doesn't sound like I am just, making a speech about this. I have done cash advances in the past, probably once or twice when I was a lot younger, and much more in much more desperate financial situations. I can think of a time that I took out a cash advance. I can't remember what the reason was for it exactly. May have been to pay rent or something, where I knew that if I didn't come up with the money, the penalty for not coming up with that money was going to be worse than the penalty for taking the cash advance. And I knew I had some money coming, but I knew I wasn't going to get that money in time to pay the rent or whatever the other thing was that I needed to get paid. So I took the cash advance. I used it to make the payment I needed to make, and then as soon as I got that money that I knew was coming, I immediately paid off the cash advance. But I got charged. I got charged for that cash advance, and I did have to pay some interest on it, and that was just sort of the consequences of doing it. So I tell you that story to let you know that while cash advances are a terrible, terrible personal finance idea, sometimes, you get into desperate situations, but I want you to understand what the consequences are of doing that so that you don't believe that taking a cash advance is just the same as, making a regular credit card purchase and that you're going to be okay as long as you, pay it off at the end of the month. It is a very different animal, and you need to understand that up front and try to avoid taking a cash advance if at all possible. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please go to ProudMoney.com where we talk about other personal finance topics and do credit card reviews and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.